Hey guys, we processed our first initial host file into the UAT server today, and my god, the results are too awesome not to share. There's a bit of detail here on how the system actually collects the host, but this is the kind of performance we're looking at when processing an initial file. What we're doing here is we're processing an initial file from Metcash for the East Coast, some 30,000 product records, and would be a typical file that you would get in setting up any new store. So starting with a blank product file, we'll go into the menu and start up host processing. Here in host processing, you'll see all the outstanding hosts plus all the previous hosts that have been processed into the system. So we go into collect the host. Here you'll see all of the suppliers that actually have a host interface. We'll collect the Metcash file. Immediately you'll see a notification to say that the job has been added to a queue. Queue is running. And when the queue actually collects the host, you get notification that the job's done and the file is ready for processing. So now we'll actually process the file. You can see another job gets added to the queue, and the queue allows us to continue to use the system while the system actually processes that host. The application also has its little system tray notifications that give the user indication that the queues are running and processing their tasks. And if you double click on the host processing queue, you get to see what's in that queue with all their tasks and who submitted those jobs. Here's our job. You can see it running there in the queue. If there were other host processing jobs running, they would be added to the queue and be processed sequentially. Now, while that queue is actually running, the user can actually close the browser and move on and go and open the browser on a different machine and continue processing the host. But here as an example, we can go into hierarchy and we can make any changes that we want while the host is processing. And any other user that's using the system wouldn't be interrupted in any way. So let's go and have a look at our queue and see how the job's going. Within the queues, you can also stop tasks, pause tasks, restart tasks. This task is progressing nicely, so we'll just let it continue to run. If we go back into our host processing screen, we'll wait for this job to finish. And the power of video, the job's done. As you can see from the completed time, it took just over 15 minutes to process the full host file. So let's go into the preview. Here you can see each batch of changes that are going to be applied to the system. The first one is the master data, the new items. As you can see, each of these grids supports our filter control and our column chooser and our search bar. So this is going to replace the host preview report or the host processing report we get today. Every host that goes into GMR will go through this process, and regardless of whether or not we chose to do a preview, this preview data will always be available. So as we navigate through this, you can see the different record, the accept and reject options like our old preview. The column chooser allows us to add any item information to the grid. You can see our supplier items that will be created through this process, again with the accept and reject. And all of the errors that may occur through host processing through not finding particular records are all available and searchable in the preview. So we're happy with our host, so let's apply the host now. Select apply host. Again, this will post a job to the queue so it can get processed. As you can see, it's pretty quick. Here's the job. Job's running. 14 seconds and it's done. So if we close and reopen item maintenance, all of our products that have just been applied through host will be available. Voila. So there you have it, collecting the host, converting and filtering the host into our formats, and finally applying the host in under 15 seconds. Total processing in under 17 minutes. It's a bold new world.